everyone. Happy Wednesday. I think we are good. Welcome to Fast and Fun Projects with Noreen. I am Noreen Smith, Product Development Creative Manager with Creative Memories, and it's my pleasure, this new routine that we have, it's my pleasure to be with you each and every Wednesday right here, either in the Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook group or on the Creative Memories YouTube channel. So welcome. Let's see who we've got here, if we've got any comments coming in. I don't see any yet, so hopefully we're getting connected here. I do see that we are live in the Facebook group. There we are. So it looks like we're getting some eyeballs and thumbs up and all that kind of good stuff. So drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching, where you're joining us from. And as always, it is so much fun to be here. Now, today we're going to continue with our small 8x8 holiday album, whether you call it December Days, December Daily, Days of December, Documenting December, whatever you call it. The idea behind it is that we are just slowing down and we are noticing and enjoying all of the things that are happening leading up to the holidays. So that's the whole idea there. I don't see any comments coming in, so I'm just doing a quick check. There we go. We've got a couple comments coming in, but they're not coming up on my screen for some reason. So if I don't see your comment today and say hi to you, I will try to make sure to get back and have a look at those comments afterwards. So it looks like we've got some gals joining us from, there's Janet from New Brunswick, Canada. We've got Teresa from Wisconsin. Hi there. There's Linda from North Carolina. So lots of gals hopping on and joining in. So again, if you missed last week, we started with our creating our pages. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But you'll always find any of the links that you need. If you're watching in the Facebook groups, you'll see them in the description box above the video. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see them in the description box. There might be something that says more. So you'll want to click on that, and all of the links that you'll need will be under the video. Okay? So as I said, we've got folks watching in both. And as always, I want to remind you to make sure that you're connected to us on both platforms as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go over to the Facebook group, Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook group, and request to join, because there's so much good stuff going on in there, including all of the virtual crops every month. And then if you're watching in the Facebook group, make sure you go over to the CM YouTube channel and make sure that you, you'd be subscribing, liking, and ringing that little bell so that you get notified each and every time we go live. Oh, there's Chris from Australia joining us. Michelle is here from Minnesota. Welcome. Watching from Virginia, that's Deborah, and Terry's here in Chile, South Carolina. I know there's so much of the States is under a real blizzard, a real winter storm. Have to say we're beautiful here in Calgary today, right around the freezing mark. Gorgeous, clear, blue Alberta skies, and it's lovely outside. So I feel for you if you're enduring that winter weather. Okay, I'm going to flip you over in just a second, but I wanted to give you a clarification and a piece of information. So some of you have, mostly advisors, have asked about the apron that I'm wearing. I've got lots of questions about the apron I'm wearing. And there was some information in a recent advisor newsletter. And I know you can't really see it, so I'm just going to back up. You can see the Creative Memories logo there. And I just wanted to let advisors know that this is a new product that's in the advisor wear. You can check your email, your advisor email from Friday or Monday, and I think there's information in there. And you can order your own. It's great. I have to say, it's nice and thick. It's got this adjustable neckline, the great little CM logo, 2 nice big pockets. Well, actually 3. I'm trying to feel how many there are there. 3 big pockets, and it's a nice long length. Plus, it's got great long ties. So if you've been looking for an apron, this one that I've been wearing has been great. Okay, so that's the piece of information I wanted to give you. I also wanted to give you a clarification. And it's my apologies because it was my fault that this happened. You might remember that we've done some work with tags, right? We've made, there's a little video out there showing how to make a Christmas tag. And then a few weeks back when the December deals started, we talked about what else could we do with tags and holly punches and things like that. And I have to apologize because I was showing and using the old CM scalloped tag maker. It's called the 3-in-1 scallop. And that's the incorrect one that's currently that's for sale. The current one is called the 3-in-1 Bevel Tag. And it's the same idea, same size, it's just a slightly different shape. So I'm going to be using this one today, but I did just want to clarify that because I know a few people said, oh, the little circle is different. You know, is there a different tag punch that Noreen is using? So that's totally my fault. I'm so sorry about that. The 3-in-1 Bevel Tag Maker is still available in December deals. It's on special right now. So if you're looking for a tag maker, go get it. And I will be using that today, so I'll just point that out again, okay? All right, let's get cracking today. Enough chit-chat. We're going to I think I'm going to work on 3 pages in my holiday album. And again, if you weren't with us last week, you might not have seen that we created 7 pages. We did a little bit of work around the title page. I cut and punched out some of these circles. We made a fun little notebook. I even started writing some of the things that are happening in my calendar there. And then we added a few different pages. So I haven't finished all my journaling, but we added a Peekaboo Pocket, a couple of kind of everyday type pages. We've got a wish list one here where my family is going to write some of the things on those lists, but I am going to re-punch these tags because this is what I was meaning. I used by mistake the old version, the scalloped version. So you can see the shape there. So I'm going to re-punch these tags before I get them to actually complete them, but then they'll go back in the pocket and back in our album. And then we had one about the wassail, which was a celebration that we attend every year. So this week, I'm going to be working on 3 pages. One about Christmas shopping, one about Christmas coffee. You might be laughing about that one. And then one about my son's Christmas concert. So we're going to do 3 double-page spreads today. Now, if you are joining us for the very first time today, you might be saying, well, how did she make that album? Where can I get the information? Remember what I said about the links. You'll find all of the links to previous videos where I made the album, as well as links to the handout that you can get with the cutting guides and all of the sort of the sketches or suggested layout ideas. So the 8x8 Fast Album Formula handout is available. And you, again, look either above if you're on Facebook or below if you're on YouTube. And then I've got a few things that I'm still working with. These were some leftovers, so I've got those out. I've got my seasonal sighting stickers and embellishments. And then I also have my little punched out December days circles, the date circles. And these were designed by our fabulous designers. And again, the links so that you can download these files and then print them onto cardstock and cut them out with our circle punch. Super easy. And you can either use them, you know, as decorations or even as little tabs like I've done here. Okay, so that's what I'm using. Plus, I've got just an extra little bit of cardstock, and I actually am going to be using a little bit of the seasonal sightings tonal papers today as a bit of an extra. So let me just get these out of the way and let's get started with our first layout. I'm really wanting to focus on using some ideas that are outside the page. So we're going to focus on not only adding photos to these spots that we already created, but how can we add some interactive interest, okay? So I'm just going to pull these out here. And I've got some photos already printed. And as I mentioned, this is going to be a layout, a story about Christmas shopping. And really the story is about my son, Sam. Sam is on the autism spectrum. He is a real mover. He's a walker. So he enjoys going shopping with me because he's walking. He's, checking everything out. He's looking around. He loves, walking through a mall and seeing what's happening. So during Christmas, of course, there's some beautiful mall decorations. I had to laugh at this one. He saw Santa sitting and talking with some other kids, and I asked him, do you want to go see him? And he says, no, I don't think so, but maybe I could have my picture taken with him from here. So, that's the kind of guy he is, and I wanted to tell that story. So this is actually two different places that we were at, but it kind of all goes together. And again, you can do, you can take a story approach, you can take an event approach, you can take a daily approach. This little album is whatever you want it to be. So I like the way that this looks, but I thought what might be fun is to add a little tag that was kind of interactive. So I think the plan is I'm going to make one little tag over here to maybe put, a title or a little embellishment on. But I thought what would be really fun is if I put a tag that would be folded over, and so that part of the tag was on the outside of the page protector and part of it is on the inside of the page protector. And I do have a couple of little strips of lined white designer paper if I want to use those for journaling. So let's see if we can figure this out here. Right now I just have a couple of 2-inch by 12-inch pieces of red cardstock. And let's go ahead and punch it with the 3-in-1 Bevel Tag Punch. Again, I'll show you the difference between the shapes. Okay, so that's the shape of the bevel, that's the shape of the scallop, and that's the shape of the bevel. Now, I'm just doing a 2-inch. This was a 2.5-inch, but again, I think you can see same idea, just slightly different shape. So this is the one that I should have been using all along, and that is still available. Okay, so I've just punched that one. I'm going to punch this other one as well. Pop this one away. And we'll get another tag going. So I think that will be a nice little tag there. And I think I'm just going to trim this off. I'm not even sure how long that is. Let's just trim that. That is about 5 inches. Okay, so that's going to be a little tag that I can put a title or an embellishment on for that side. So I've got some scrap here. But here, we're going to have to do just a little bit more thinking. So if I wanted to have my tag attached there to the base page and then folded over, I might have to trim off just a little bit here, maybe about 1/2 inch. I think that will work. So let's go ahead and fold this in half. So now it's 2 inches by 11.5 inches. Just going to fold it in half. If you've got a bone folder or your multi-purpose tool, just make a nice fold there. And I think this is going to work really well. So the idea is the folded edge is going to line up with the edge of the paper, and this part is going to be outside of the pocket. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this all together. For me, this little album is a real mix. Sometimes I have events and things that happen on certain days, and other times I'm pulling pictures and stories that happen on different days and kind of, you know, telling the story of how those experiences or how those things relate to me, or how I enjoy them, for example, over the holidays. So again, Sam and I are shopping buddies. My husband and my other son, Grayson, they could not be bothered with shopping. So I always can count on Sam to come with me. Okay, so now I'm just going to adhere this back flap of the tag. We'll worry about decorating it and kind of zhuzhing it up at the end. Okay, so I think that's going to work just nicely there. It doesn't quite reach there. It's got a little bit of a break, but I think that's going to work just fine. So let's just have a look here. When I slip this back inside for my layout, of course, this tag will be inside, but this one is going to be something that people who are looking at my album can, open up and read. And then I think what I'll do is choose one, maybe it's the Merry Christmas, I'm not sure, but I'll choose an embellishment, a die-cut embellishment that will sort of act as a bit of a stopper, so that the flap will just kind of tuck in and underneath this, right? So it can just kind of open and then tuck underneath. And actually that little poinsettia works really well with the holly, and again picks up the red, so that might be one that I would use. Let's grab a nice big foam square, and we're going to attach it on the outside of the page protector. So again, remember I was mentioning that we're thinking outside the pocket now. So here I can go back in afterwards and add, a couple of little strips of the lined paper so that I can add my journaling there. And then over here on this side, I can either use some letters. I can use some ABC 1, 2, 3 stickers, or maybe there's maybe I could use some presents or one of the Christmas trees just to decorate up this tag. Okay, so that's really my first layout today, featuring that fold out tag. I could do some journaling down here too. That would be okay. But I like the way that sort of turned out, and that's really just what I envisioned, is having that tag be something that people who are flipping through the album can look at. Okay, I'm just going to check comments here. I don't know if we've got any new ones. I'm sorry that the comments aren't working for me to see them right where I'm filming from, but I will keep checking and see if there's any big questions. Okay, let's go on to the second one. So first one, fold over tag outside the pocket. All right, now my second layout, now we're going to actually have to take this one back out. My second layout is about Christmas coffee. So any of you who know me a little bit know that I love coffee, and I really enjoy at Christmas time, there's all kinds of different cups, all of the different, McDonald's, and in Canada we have Tim Hortons. They all have different fun cups. There's Starbucks as well. And, whereas my one son, Sam, he's my shopping buddy. My older son, Grayson, he's my coffee buddy. So he comes with me, and we enjoy getting coffee and trying different fancy drinks and stuff together. So I've trimmed these photos down into just shy of 4 by 4. This particular layout, where's my handout? This particular layout was this one here, where our larger pieces of paper are at the side and the bottom, and then we have room for 4 4x4 photos. I trimmed them down just a little bit smaller, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, just so there would be a little bit of space. I could see the white of the page in between. So it kind of acts like a little bit of a built-in mat. So I'm just going to adhere these quick. And really, you know, once you adhere your photos and do a little bit of journaling, that's all you need to do to finish off your layouts and your pages each day. So it's a really quick process. I'm doing some extra things because, well, number one, it's a heck of a lot of fun. And, you know, I also want to share some of these ideas and techniques with you. Just going to move that over just a bit more. Okay, so this one, I'm not going to add a lot on top here because I like the way that these particular pages look. So I thought about adding a peekaboo pocket. I thought about adding, you know, something else in here that I can, you know, write on, do a little bit of decoration. And I'll tell you what I landed on. I decided to take a page and create a little coffee cup page insert. So this is a really fun thing, and I want to talk you through it a little bit. So I've done it a few different ways, and I'm going to show you how I did this one in just a minute. But all I've done is I've taken an 8x8 page. It would be a regular solid page, and I've just cut some different shapes into it. So for this one, let me grab it. I actually took my jumbo circle and I just sort of used the edge as a guide with my red blade, and I literally just trimmed around the edge. So this is a really fun way to add kind of it's almost making a regular page a bit of a peekaboo page because, you know, it gives us a bit of a hint at what's behind it. So that would be a really simple way to take an 8x8 page. Again, it could be white, it could be black, natural, sparkle, whichever, you know, color you want. And just trim it up into an unusual shape so that it becomes a feature in your album and not just something that you're going to put, you know, more photos on. So I'm going to talk about photos in just a second. Another one that I did was this sort of little, it looks like a little bit of a Christmas tree. So what I did for this one is I took some of our, let me just grab all my stuff here out of the way. I took some of our CCS templates, our custom cutting system templates, along with a pencil, and I just kind of created little triangles. And I just literally drew these onto the page itself with a pencil. You can see up at the top here, I just kind of used the peak of the square and I went around it. And then I cut those out with my scissors. So you can see here, that's the part that I cut away. So I think that, you know, this was a bit of an experiment, but I think I'm actually going to save this one for my Christmas tree page when I decorate it. But let's talk about the coffee cup one, because I really was thinking to myself, I'd love some kind of interactive page. I'd love something that I could put in between my two pages here that I could journal on. Now, I'm not going to put any photos on here. So some of you might be thinking, well, how do you put a page protector on that? I guess you could, but for me, anytime I would do something like this, it's really just because it's a fun addition to my album. It's going to have the title and then the journaling on it. So let me just show you really quickly. I decided that I was going to use some of my brown script and sans serif letter stickers, ABC 1, 2, 3 stickers. And I just have a little piece of wax paper so that I could sort of figure out if it would work. So that's what my little coffee cup insert is going to look like. It's Christmas in a cup. And then when you turn it over, I'll have my journaling here. And it really makes both of these pages, which are about coffee and, you know, Christmas festive beverages, it relates to that, but it's just a really fun element. And that's what's great about this small size album. You can try different things and have lots of fun, you know, doing things that you wouldn't normally do in a 12 by 12 album. Okay, so let me show you how I did that. Oops, hang on. I thought I had my pages all ready. So I just took a regular 8 by 8 refill page. And then I just sort of started drawing. So again, I used my CCS patterns, my rectangle CCS patterns, as a bit of a helper. So first of all, I sort of thought, well, I'd want it to be about, you know, about 4 or 5 inches for the cup and then the little handle. So I started by just drawing around here as a bit of a handle. Okay, and then I knew that I would just kind of trim up the top of the cup and the bottom of the cup just below. So it's not a very realistic looking coffee cup, but once you get those cut out, then I used my oval templates. And if you remember, I said that I had some small extra pieces of leftover paper. They were just little 4 by 4s, and now of course I put them off to the side. Oh, there they are. So I actually had started using one of them. I had another 4 by 6 from this pattern, and then the 2 4 by 6s from that pattern. So I used the beige one because it kind of looks like coffee, and then I literally cut 2 ovals from that page. And here's the proof. Right? Just barely enough, but I was able to get 2 little ovals there. And then one just goes at the top, one goes at the bottom, and then I used kind of, again, just sort of eyeballed and cut the top and bottom of the cup with some scissors. So I've made my own little coffee cup interactive page insert, which I think is super cute. And that's literally I'm just going to have to take my pages out and I will slip that onto the strap hinges, and that will be what my page will look like. So you'll see my 2 pictures here, Christmas in a cup, and then I'll be able to, you know, do my little bit of journaling on the back here. And then really, I don't need much else on this page. I'm all about, let's do it, you know, make a statement. Let's do it nice and big and, you know, make it really say something. So I love the way that turns out. Whether you decide to do a shape, a star would be great, a heart would be great, a little Christmas tree, or even just taking your page and, you know, trimming it into a semicircle, or even literally just trimming it down so that it's a smaller page. That really creates some interest and variety instead of all of your pages being exactly the same. So I'd love to know what you guys come up with. You'll see the tree resurface again. And I think what I'm going to do for the tree is try to, you know, add maybe some tonal paper to it so that it's green and maybe have some decorations on it. But that's for another day. You'll probably see that next week because, spoiler, I don't have my tree up yet. So that's going to be a whole other layout. Okay, so let me just get these out of the way here. I won't go ahead and adhere that, but this is always a great little trick, is to take that piece of wax paper, cut it to the size of the area that you want to add your title to, and then you can just literally kind of lay your stickers down there, move them around until they're in the right space, and then I can just transfer them easily. Okay, so that's my second layout, Christmas in a cup. All right, there's Grayson and I enjoying them. And then my last layout that I want to share with you today is about Grayson's Christmas concert. So again, Grayson is my older son, and he attends a high school in Calgary that has the best music program. So he is a percussionist. This is a photo of their massed ensemble at their Christmas concert. So here's the choir up here, all of the musicians down below, and you can even see they are the only high school in Calgary that has a strings program. So we have cellists and violinists and violists and bass players, all as part of that band. And it's in a beautiful concert hall called the Bella Concert Hall at Mount Royal University here in Calgary. And it is just, it sends shivers up your spine. So I have that beautiful picture. Of course, you can't see any of the kids. So I have a couple of close-ups, but because they were zoomed in, of course, they're fuzzy. So you can see Grayson right here in the center, some choir students and other musicians around him, and then the three conductors, the three teachers who conduct the band, the choir, and the strings program. So I wanted to include these, but of course, this is the star photo. So I'm going to get out a trusty Peekaboo Pocket. This is going to go on the front side of the Peekaboo Pocket. And then the two slightly more kind of blurry photos are going to be tucked in behind, because again, as a family, we want to reference these, but you know, maybe not everybody looking at them would want to. So in order to do that, I'm going to flip it over and upside down so that when this photo or this Peekaboo Pocket gets flipped up, I'll be able to see all of the photos. And then this one of Grayson will go here. I forgot to trim these, so I'm going to have to trim them just a little bit. So this is the way that this page will look, and I'm going to do something for a title here. So it'll be the entire massed band, flip it up to see the instructors and conductors, and then a little bit of a close-up shot of Grayson. So that's going to be that page. This page is going to be, you know, I took a picture of him just in the foyer of the concert hall in his tuxedo, looking very handsome. Again, I'm sorry I forgot to trim that down, but that's going to go there. Now, the fun thing was the program for the Christmas concert. Look what it features. It features our little birds that, you know, are just part of our seasonal sightings collection this year. So it's just perfect. And I really want to be able to showcase this as well as access it. So I could take another little Peekaboo Pocket, a 4x6 perhaps, and, you know, fold this in half and tuck it in. But I want to see the whole thing because of that beautiful feature. I pulled out my 5x7s, and it's just a little too small. I did trim this paper, which was kind of I guess an 8.5 by 11 folded in half. But you can see that it's still a little bit too big. This Peekaboo Pocket, the 5x7, is too small. So I thought to myself, well, I guess I could always put another side-loading sleeve in between these pages and then add that in. I thought, well, that would be a good idea, but I didn't want all of this extra. So we're going to do some surgery. We're going to modify one of these pages and create a custom size pocket for our little brochure. And again, this is going to be sized for this brochure. If you're going to do this, you might want to obviously measure the brochure that you want to include in order to make a custom size pocket. So again, this was an 8.5 by 11 piece paper folded. I love that there's a little QR code there, so I can again scan that at any time in order to see it. But I did trim it down just a little bit, just 1/4 of an inch on each, the top and bottom, so that it was 8 inches, so that it would fit inside here. And then it is about 5.5 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 12-inch trimmer to cut this down to about 6 inches, and not 6 inches from the edge of the G-ping, but 6 inches from the edge of the pocket. And that should give me enough space to get it in, and then I'll show you how we're going to deal with closing it up. So we're just going to slowly go back and forth a couple of times, make sure that we've cut through. Okay. And then when I was thinking about this, I thought this is actually another option. You could cut the, you could cut almost like a pocket out of one of these 8.5 or 8x8 sleeves. And then of course it would be open on the top and it would be closed on 2 sides. So you could, I would do it thicker of course, but you could attach that to your page and then use that to put your brochure inside. So that's another option for you. But we've gone ahead and done a little bit of surgery here. And then I have, remember I mentioned that I was going to add a little bit of the tonal paper. So I have just over an inch. It's about 1.25 inches. I'm going to score it, and it's going to become the, I guess, the binding for the outside edge, the cut edge of the page that we just cut. Sorry, I'm trying to keep all of this in frame, and of course it's getting all over the place. So I'm just going to score this down the middle with my scoring blade. And of course this is a 12-inch piece of paper. See, and I didn't do a very good job of scoring it in the middle, did I? That's a little bit offside. But that's part of the reason why I did it a little bit wide. So now I can come back and make sure that everything is nice and neat. I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive here so that I can make sure this is nice and even. I can just rub that off afterwards. And there we go. So now my little binding strip is going to be just fine. So I'm going to open that up, and let's use, we used some of this last week. Let's use the photo tape to adhere this. All right. Let's get a couple of good strips because we want to seal this completely. And again, this is a 12-inch strip. So I'm going to be, trimming off some of this. But I want to make sure that I can get it above and below the opening of the 8-inch page. Okay. So just press that really good. Remember, we had a little bit of problems getting the backing off last time. I think this is going to work better if I do a quick little burnish, and then I can peel. Yeah, that should. It's going to give me trouble again this week. Let's try the other end. There we go. Okay, so you can see how we've got this nice long piece of solid adhesive. Can you see that? And so now we're just going to use that on both sides of our page. Fold it over at the score line. And then we can just use our scissors. You could even use a little corner rounder. And now we have a really pretty little page. It's got a nice sort of decorative pocket, and it's custom sized for our program. So that's our surgically enhanced our surgically enhanced page that we're going to insert in between those two. And then I'm going to be able to have 3 photos, 1 photo, the brochure, and maybe a little bit of journaling and my title. And again, I just like how that's a little bit different in size because now I can see kind of what's behind it, but I don't get the whole picture. I literally have to, it really invites me to open that up and look. And I can see two sides of the program now, but I can still very easily get the brochure out. So I love that. And then it becomes another decorative element right inside our little book. So that's 3 different ideas for you today about, making something outside of the page. Our little tag that's going to kind of extend off the edge of the page and fold back over. And remember, that one's going to have the little embellishment as a stopper or as a little flap holder. And then we've got that fun shaped page that can be a journaling and a decorative page in between a layout. And then we've got our custom sized page that we did some surgery on and just reattached the edge with a piece of paper. And I did want to say, if you're a washi fan, this is actually old, about 2 or 3, well, no, it's maybe more than that, maybe 4 years or 5 years old now. But this was some CM washi tape that came out at Christmas time. It was a little box of 3. If you like washi, of course, you could just, take a strip of the washi tape and seal over your, can't get the edge up now, but you could just seal over that open edge that you cut. You could just seal that over and flip it over to the other side to seal it shut. So lots of different ways that you could use your supplies to create that fun interactive page. Okay? All right, let me just flip you back over here and we'll finish off. I think I've seen a couple of different comments here about some of the techniques that I'm showing you. So again, I just really encourage you to play and think about some unique things that you can add into this album. I really hope that you're treating this album as not just, something that you need to do. It's not another to-do. It's a chance for you to really engage with the stories of the season. It's a chance to think about, what means a lot to your family. And again, it might not be big stories. They might be everyday things. But these are the things that I think we'll look back on, 5, 10 years down the road, and we'll remember the stories about them. So it's just so much fun to work in this size and add in all of these fun little elements that really make it a holiday, a special holiday sort of activity. So I love it. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying these ideas. Next week, we're going to continue. So that's going to be the 21st. So there'll be another week of, layouts that I can share with you. But of course, it's not going to take us right up to Christmas. So I'm going to have to share with you my, my pages that are done from the 21st onwards. I'll have to share those with you after Christmas. But hopefully you'll have enough ideas that will get you through and be able to finish off your December albums. So I'd love it if you are trying any of these techniques or whatever you're focusing on this year. Maybe you're doing it in multi-pocket pages. Maybe you're doing it in a happy album size. Maybe you're doing regular 12 by 12 inch pages that will go into your family album. However you're documenting your December, we'd love to see some of those examples shared in the virtual crop group. So please feel free to snap a picture and add them either as part of the comments here or as another post. We'd love to see what you're doing. Okay, just scanning my little notes here, and I think that's it for today. So we've done 3 different techniques. We're going to continue on next week, so catch up with whatever you're working on and be ready for some new inspiration next week. Okay, so make sure again to go to the opposite platform. If you're on Facebook, go make sure that you're subscribing on the YouTube channel. If you're on the YouTube channel, make sure that you ask to join the Facebook group so that you don't miss out on anything, okay? I can't wait to see your pages, and I will be excited to share some more ideas with you next week, all right? So have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday, December 21st, 5 p.m. Central Time, and don't forget just going to show you one more time. That little tag punch, the one that I messed up on and used the wrong one, but that is still available in the December deals, which goes, I think, until the 21st. So you're going to be able to get that tag punch and be able to use it not only in your December album, but in lots of other ways. Okay, so make sure to take advantage of that. All right, everybody, have a great week. Enjoy your holiday preparations, and we will see you next week. Okay, bye for now.